Recently in the Thousand Year Blood War anime, it was revealed that Old Man Zangestu wasn't actually Zangetsu, but technically he is Zangetsu.
NANI?!
Don't worry, we'll get into it. Anyways, to some of you, the old man might appear to be a good guy who has always had Ichigo's back, but after this video, you might change your opinion on him because I will be exposing a dark secret of his. After Ichigo learns about his origin, he makes his way back to Hoden, and there he was required to pick out his Asauchi. He manages to pick out the right one, but as soon as he made contact with it, its appearance changed from black to white. And after this, Ichigo and Nimaya go to the very end of Hoden, and there we see a cliff surrounded in water, and Nimaya explains that the water is vital in order to reforge a Bankai. And after this, he explains that this is where Ichigo and Zangetsu will part ways. We are then introduced to Nimaya's bodyguards, and they waste no time. All of them begin to forge Ichigo's Zanpakuto. Next, Nimaya explains that the reason why Ichigo's Asauchi turned white when he made contact with it is because the hollow inside of him is his true Zanpakuto. The Asauchi was just a catalyst to draw his Zanpakuto out. Nimaya further goes on to explain that he creates Asauchis by using the layers of many Shinigami's souls, and coincidentally, Aizen also used this same method to create White. And due to the fact that White entered Ichigo's body and merged with his Soul Reaper power, he became Ichigo's Zanpakuto. And this already confirms that Old Man Zangetsu is a fraud. He was just pretending to be Ichigo's Zanpakuto. Ichigo was originally in denial because, let's be honest here, this is a very hard pill to swallow. However, he takes a closer look at Old Man Zangetsu and realizes that he resembles Yhwach. Nimaya then reveals that Zangetsu was taking the form of Yhwach from 1,000 years ago, but more important than that, he was not Ichigo's Soul Reaper power, but instead his Quincy power. Immediately after this, Ichigo reveals that on his first encounter with Yhwach, he did not know why, but it felt like he was drawn to him, and that was the reason why he went straight to him without even knowing what was going on. He just knew that he was the most important enemy there. And he also reveals that when he first took a look at his face, he reminded him of somebody he knew. But regardless of that, he tried to ignore it. But unfortunately, he could no longer run away from this problem because it was literally staring at him right in the face. In the next moment, Ichigo screams out Zangetsu's name. Both of them were in Ichigo's inner world, and it was raining to symbolize Ichigo's emotions. Ichigo immediately questions him about what was going on, and Zangetsu doesn't beat around the bush. He admits that everything Ichigo had heard was true. He was not Zangetsu, and in the next moment, almost as if Ichigo's heart had been broken, the building they were standing on breaks in half, and together they fall into an abyss of water. Ichigo wanted some answers, and so he starts to question Zangetsu by asking him if he really is Yhwach. Old Man Zangetsu replies back with a very roundabout answer. He states, and I quote, "I am Yhwach and I am not Yhwach." Just like me, Ichigo makes it clear that he has had enough of his crap and demands that he answers his question. Is he his enemy or his friend? Yet again, Zangetsu answers the question in a roundabout way. He explains that he is neither Ichigo's enemy nor friend. However, he claims that the only lie he ever told Ichigo was his name. And this next bit is the most interesting thing that Zangetsu said. Yes, it was true that Zangetsu lied about being Ichigo's Zanpakuto, Zanpakuto. But throughout all of these chapters, whenever Ichigo needed help, White was always the one to mentor him, while the old man was just observing. White was the one who taught Ichigo how to use his Zanpakuto, and he was also the one who always saved Ichigo's life whenever he was on the verge of death. The old man basically just took credit for all of White's hard work. Almost like a tyrant, he suppressed Ichigo's power and personally made himself the center of his power. He did not want Ichigo to become a Soul Reaper because this meant that he would be dragged into conflict, and in the process he would sustain several injuries. And due to the fact that Zangetsu wanted to protect him from danger, he would eventually have to kill Ichigo. However, to his surprise, Ichigo personally made the decision to become a Soul Reaper, and through countless of battles, he became stronger and stronger, and in the process surpassed his limits. And since the old man had front row seats to witness all of this, he couldn't help but feel like a proud parent. Eventually, he got on board with helping Ichigo's decision, and with that being said, the old man says his farewell and fades away, leaving nothing but Ichigo's true Zanpakuto behind. And this is very interesting because up until now, Ichigo had only been using a fragment of his power that the old man couldn't suppress. But now Ichigo can fight at full strength because the old man gave him his true Zanpakuto. It took Ichigo a while to process everything that had occurred, but he finally came to terms with the situation and declares that he doesn't care about the old man's identity. To him, both White and the old man are Zangetsu. Ichigo returns back to Hoden and pours his soul into his Zanpakuto. Next, he pulls out his Zanpakuto and all of the water surrounding Hoden evaporates. But more important than that, it is revealed that Ichigo has two Zanpakutos now. The large sword represents his Soul Reaper and Hollow powers, and the smaller one represents his Quincy power. I know that this plot twist was very shocking, but I would like to remind you that it's not the only important thing to take away. Not only did Old Man Zangetsu keep so many secrets from Ichigo, but also ever since Ichigo first encountered White, he came to the conclusion that he was a bad guy, when in reality he wasn't. White even tried to clear his name by telling Ichigo that he was Zangetsu, but as you can imagine, Ichigo still didn't believe him, and this is a real shame because Zangetsu could have defended White, but he chose not to. My question for you guys is, do you think Old Man Zangetsu really had Ichigo's best interests at heart? How long was he planning on keeping this big of a secret from Ichigo? And if his secret was not exposed by Nimaya, would he have ever come clean about it? Now hear me out. My theory is that maybe Old Man Zangetsu was on Yhwach's side at the beginning, and he was given the job to recruit Ichigo over to the side of the Stern Ritter. But when he saw Ichigo's developments throughout the years, he formed a bond with him and decided to switch sides. And there is evidence to back my theory. See, every character that appeared on the cover of a Bleach volume had a poem that was specific to them, and this is one of Zangetsu's. I quote, "I believe the world is full of danger. I want to protect you from it, only because inside of me is the same impulse as that danger." Like I previously said, Zangetsu takes the form of Yhwach from 1,000 years ago, and as we all know, every Quincy has Yhwach's blood flowing through their veins. So this is what Zangetsu means when he says, inside of me is the same impulse as that's danger. He is literally admitting that Yhwach is within him. Look, I'm not trying to say that the old man is a bad guy. He obviously isn't. He used a Quincy shadow to protect Ichigo, and he also used Lutvine to save Ichigo's life. But this still doesn't change the fact that he was suppressing Ichigo's power and also manipulating him. Ichigo trusted him, and what did he get in return? Nothing but deception. At the end of the day, please remember that this is only a theory. However, Zangetsu is still within Ichigo's soul, so let's just hope that he really is on Ichigo's side, because if he isn't, then he can completely turn Ichigo's life upside down. Old Man Zangetsu is definitely one of my favorite characters in Bleach. However, with that being said, it hurts me to say this, but we can't let our guard down when it comes to him. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, let me know down in the comment section if you guys think that Zangetsu really had Ichigo's best interest at heart from the very beginning.